Welcome everybody to the coffee break. My name is
Hey.
Daniel. I'm here as usual with my friend Tom. What's up, Tom?
Hey guys, how's it going? Good to be here.
It's been a while.
Been a while, been a while.
You've been
I've
I
been
would say
away,
up and about.
up and about. Yeah. I've been to Copenhagen with Tanya, my wife.
Yeah.
Been to some Christmas celebrations.
Was it hell? Like
Man,
it seems.
no, it was cold. It was really really cold. But it wasn't actually that different. Like Jerusalem last week, where I study, it was 4 degrees during the day, and Tanya said it was like 2 degrees in Copenhagen.
Really?
Yeah, something like that.
It's only 2 degrees in Copenhagen.
It's not.
I mean, I thought it's much colder. I thought it's like -10 or something.
No. It gets like, I think it can get to potentially -5. It's very windy, so they say like, -5 feels like -10 or something like that. But I think that's around the
Wait,
temperature.
is it on the coast?
Yeah, Copenhagen. It's on an island.
Really?
Yeah. So there's Denmark there are 3 parts of Denmark. There's Jutland or Jutland, as they say in English. That's like the part of Europe that's connected to Germany. And then there are 2 small islands. There's Sealand and Fyn.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it's a funny name, right? Fyn.
No, it's like sea land because it's a land near the sea and
Sea.
Fun.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah. And then Copenhagen is on Sealand. It's on that island. So it's very windy.
I guess that's why it's very windy, but it's also not as because, like for example, Moscow. It's like it's not as north as Copenhagen, I think, and yet it's like -10. But I think it's because it's inland.
But yeah, it's inland.
You know
That's
how
the
like
thing.
places that are on the coast, like Amsterdam, for example, or even
Yeah.
like England or London and stuff. They're more. The
Mhm.
climate there is more balanced. I think like it's less. For example, Prague. Prague is not so north.
Right.
It's not as north as Copenhagen for sure, and
But
it's like
it's cold.
-1,500
Exactly.
degrees in
Exactly.
the winter. Because it's a bit. There's altitude in Prague as well. It's like
Yeah.
800 or 900 meters altitude.
Yeah,
but
so
it's also
I
because
would
it's
say,
inland.
yeah, I would say that Denmark, weather-wise, I guess it's closer to Holland. Holland, northern Germany, Denmark, they're very flat countries. People think of like the north, and they think like Vikings and mountains, and
Yeah.
it's not really like that. Denmark is pretty flat.
Well, it is Vikings, but it's
It is Vikings, but it's very flat.
The flat Vikings.
The flat Vikings. So I was there 11 days, 8 dinners. It was great.
Wait, 11 days, 8 dinners.
8
What about
dinners.
the other 3 days? You didn't have dinner.
Some-
You went
some-
to sleep. Hungry?
No, some break time,
Okay,
Some
you took a break.
Yeah.
You mean dinner's out? Like,
Yeah.
Out for dinner.
Yeah, with people, with family.
Yeah.
It's Christmas, it's New Year's, it's all.
Yeah.
They went crazy.
Parties
man.
and stuff, Christmas
Yeah.
parties, and
Yeah.
well,
It
now
was
you're
good.
back.
Yeah,
in
now
the
I'm
Holy
back.
Land,
Yes, good to be
the
back.
heart of the Middle East,
Good to be back.
and a lot of drama while you were gone.
Yes.
And,
Give us a quick update.
a lot of big things happening. We're going to elections.
Yeah.
Elections here in Israel. Fun times as always.
Yeah. Gotta love
Everyone is,
elections.
Everyone is out at each other's throats.
Mm-hmm.
Looking, finding things from the past, blaming, finding dirty things about the wives of the other opponents.
Yeah. This
And,
wife of that opponent said in the year 1997 that something, whatever. Yeah.
It's basically a reality show.
Pretty much.
Israel's next prime minister.
We gotta bring Donald Trump to like fire someone,
Yeah, he's gonna be the host. And I guess the biggest story of these elections is
The investigations.
yes, is the investigations against Benjamin Netanyahu, Bibi, our prime minister.
Yes.
He's under investigations by the police and the Secretary of Law, or how do you say that?
Ministry of Law.
Ministry of
of Law.
Yes. And he's basically his entire campaign, these elections, is revolves around the elections. And we were talking before the podcast, and I think it's very interesting that his main line of
Defense.
his main campaign, his main line of defense, towards the public, is not "I'm not guilty," is "I'm being it's a conspiracy against me." That's what he's saying to people basically. He's not
Yeah.
like "I didn't do it." elect me, he's the left or the
The left. It's pretty much the left. Everything is the left. Everything
well,
that if you disagree with me, I am Benjamin Netanyahu. If you disagree with me, I'm the right wing. I am Israel, and if you disagree with me, then you are left wing, basically.
yeah, yes, and the left is it's a conspiracy of the left to try and dethrone him. You
Yeah,
can say.
pretty much. Pretty
And
much.
I don't know. Well, I don't know if he is confident of that because he might know what I've did. But the funny thing is, it sounds so ridiculous. But the interesting thing is, and sad thing is, that people believe him. Like if you people that will elect him anyway, people that elected him in the last elections and will probably in the future because they like him or they like his policy or they think he's good for Israel, they are convinced that he's telling the truth. They're convinced that he did nothing wrong, and it's just a conspiracy of the left against him, and because the left can't reclaim the throne.
Yeah. The left can't win elections in Israel,
Yeah.
so they're
So they're
trying
trying-
legal ways to overthrow him.
Yeah.
But I don't know how many people, I don't know how many people actually believe it.
People do. I've seen polls that say that it said something like 40% or something.
Yeah, 40%. I read somewhere that
40% believe it.
54% of the comments online were in favor of his version of the truth. But
It's comments online.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't think that most rational people stop to just comment randomly online on
Yes.
stuff, currently against him. But it's not the first time he's been investigated. He's been investigated a few times. And the thing is that's what he says, and it's also true. Every time he has been investigated, they came up with nothing. However, this time, it appears to be that the evidence is quite overwhelming. Not because of anything that people are saying, just because of the reactions in the political arena. Like the new parties being formed, the new people joining different parties. A lot of people, even our minister of law, said that she believes this is the last time Bibi will be prime minister in Israel. So, I mean, I don't know if she knows something that we don't know, but it just seems like there is something going to happen. And I have to be honest, I'm not one of the people that hates Bibi. I used to be pretty against him. I think that he actually did a lot of very good things in the past. I just believe that his last term, the one we just been through, really was actually quite bad. I would say quite bad. Like he goes against a lot of his values. He used to be very capitalist. He started subsidizing almost everything, which I'm against personally. I think it's not a very smart idea, just to appease political partners. He really increased the amount of public spending on certain things, and even his main card that he plays is Joker, which is I know about security. You see it in Israel, like in the north, there's some tensions with in Lebanon, in the south with Hamas in Gaza. It seems like his response to that threat has been quite underwhelming. I'm not sure if that's a word. Overwhelming. Yeah. And I mean, for me, it seems like, he's been prime minister for 10 years straight. And I guess it took its toll.
What do you think about the way he's playing his cards in this campaign? You think it's going to work for him? You think it's going to work out? Because so far it seems that people believe it. People believe that someone is trying to dethrone him, overthrow him.
Yeah.
I'm using like monarchy terms.
Yeah,
but it's like a joke. It's not really a king.
It's Game of Thrones. That's what it is.
Yeah, I'm using Game of Thrones terms for the flavor.
Exactly. So I guess most people would in Israel would parallel Sarah Netanyahu, who's Bibi's wife, with Cersei Lannister. I guess maybe.
Perhaps.
No, I don't know.
But is Bibi? Well, I didn't really watch Games of Thrones, to be honest.
Okay.
I watched the first season and then I read the books. but I know
Oh,
there's
look at
like
me. I'm smart. I read
I know,
books.
not really, but I know that there's the king, right? So there's Joffrey, right? But before that was like his father was the
Yeah,
king,
yeah.
and he was like this kind of drunk.
Robert
Go,
Baratheon.
yeah, goes to hookers, right? Drunk,
Yeah,
eats a
yeah.
lot. Is that Bibi? I don't know.
No, no, definitely not.
Definitely
Definitely
not,
not.
right?
No, it's just that his wife had a few times that she was caught, recorded,
Yes, yes.
doing very embarrassing things,
Yes, yes.
shouting at people,
Yes,
yelling at people.
yes.
So okay, so here's let's get a few things straight. So currently there are 4 investigations against our prime minister. I don't think I actually remember all of them. I'm not so interested in these things until there's actually a verdict at court. But there's one that's he's being investigated on meeting with a very famous owner of a newspaper.
It's basically bribe. They're all around bribe. They're all around
Yes, yeah.
favors.
Yeah,
right?
favors,
You
exactly.
have,
Exactly.
owners of media corporations or
Yeah.
or businessmen or
Yeah,
stuff like
so
that
he
they
said-
want things from him and he wants things from them. So you give me coverage, a good coverage in the media, and I'll give you laws that will make it easier for your business to operate.
Exactly. So he
That's
basically what they're saying is that he met with that publisher, with the owner of the newspaper, and basically said, if you'll give me better coverage, I'll make sure that another newspaper who is rival to the first newspaper will be shut down. I'll make laws for it to be harder to operate.
Yeah, that's all allegedly. By the way.
Allegedly,
Allegedly.
yes. Yeah, but that's what the recordings that they found actually show. Because I think our prime minister, actually recorded those meetings. I'm not sure how the recordings were leaked, but
Wasn't it his guy? He had a guy.
maybe his assistant. I'm not sure.
Haro? Ari Haro?
I genuinely
Or
don't
one
know.
of those, or Nir Hefetz.
Maybe I genuinely don't
It's
know.
not important.
Yeah. Then another one, basically the same. They try to overtake. They allegedly try to overtake a website, a news website, which is also a big corporation in Israel. The third one, he received presents from a very wealthy
But
businessman.
I think wasn't. I mean, that's not. I mean, it's. I think it's mostly the those two, the first two that you mentioned.
Wait. So there's also that one because he received he received cigars, champagnes, and jewelry for his wife, but it's in 1.5 million shekels.
Wasn't that dropped or something though?
I don't think it was dropped.
I think it's mostly like the
but
first two you
but
mentioned.
the last one, which is a really big one, it's the submarines.
Yeah, but that is far from. That's not gonna be solved before the elections.
Probably not.
That's
But
far from,
basically, what happened? So Israel acquired submarines, nuclear submarines from a German company called ThyssenKrupp, and what they're investigating right now is the fact that our prime minister's cousin, who is also his private lawyer, represented the Germans in the German company in the purchase. And so they think maybe we got a higher price than what we should have paid for it,
Yeah.
so that he could get so that Benjamin Netanyahu's cousin could get some money from it. It's a bit complicated. There are many people
And it's
involved
very
in this.
far from solved.
Yeah,
that
it's
one.
far
I mean,
from solved.
I
But
think
this is the main one. This is
But
this
the
is-
first you mentioned, the one with the news corporations, the news website, the newspaper and the website, those are the one that's gonna before the election we're gonna know if they're gonna charge him or not.
hopefully.
If
I mean-
they're present charges against him or not, and that is what I think most people focus on, and him as well. And I'm going back to my question. What do you think about about the way he chooses to run his campaign in terms of the conspiracies against him? You think it's gonna work? You think it's believable? You think people will? I mean, it's obviously kind of ridiculous, but you think people will believe it?
I'll tell you what. From the way it looks to me, as an outsider, I genuinely don't know too much about it. It just seems like he's very stressed about this. He looks to be a bit panicking when he appears in the public. He's speaking like he's very confident, but what he says doesn't really make sense. And I have a feeling that majority of people that believe him on this, these are people that would have voted for him regardless of what he would do. Like, I think you could, as Trump said, I could, he said I could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue, or he said something like that, and people would still vote for me. There are some people that would just are gonna vote for Bibi regardless,
I think from what I've heard, he's trying to keep his base. Like, he's trying to keep the people, so those people that, because that's the majority, right? The people that voted for him in the last elections and will probably vote for him again. If he can keep those votes from the last elections, he will be elected again. And from what I've heard, he's not trying to. His entire campaign, the purpose is not to bring new voters, and it's just to keep what he has. And think about how fucked up it is, because as a politician, you want to tell people, well, I'll do this and this and this, and you will like it. It's good for you, and so vote for me so I can do it, right?
Yeah.
Bibi is not even. There's nothing in his campaign that says I will do this for you. Nothing. It's just like, they're doing this to me. Elect me. You elected last time. I'm trying to keep you. Don't let the leftist voices that says he's a criminal get to you, because they're trying to.
It's propaganda. Don't listen to them.
They're trying to fuck.
It's a
fuck
conspiracy.
Up our country,
yeah.
And,
so
this
is another thing that I wanted to bring up. This thing about leftist, like. The media, they're leftist because they're against him. The police, they're investigating him, so they're leftist. The chief of police, also a leftist.
Yes.
And it's funny, the chief of police, he's a religious, Sephardic Jew.
Yeah.
Technically, he's a settler. Like, he lives over the Green Line. This is like a very typical right-wing, let's say, person.
Bibi voter.
I mean,
Bibi voter.
BB voter. I mean, you wouldn't, not necessarily, it's a generalization, but generally speaking, and he's accusing him of being a leftist.
Yeah.
The chief of staff, by the way, one of the things that were happening that I said, so for those of you that haven't heard, for the past, I don't know, almost like 8 months or so, there have been riots on the border between Israel and Gaza. Gazans are coming up to the fence. Some are demonstrating, but many are also just trying to breach the fence, cross into Israel, shoot at the Israeli soldiers who are there, throw bombs at them or stuff like that. And one of the techniques that they're using, besides rioting, burning tires, whatever, is they tie explosives or Molotov cocktails to balloons and kites and fly them over the border into Israel. And some of Bibi's people from the Likud, his party, went to be interviewed about how come they're not managing to stop this. And they said, well, basically what he said, we want to stop it. It's just that the chief of staff is stopping us because he's a leftist. That's basically what he said.
Yeah.
And it's like, really? Like, you're so everyone's a leftist. Like, the media, the police, the chief of police, the chief of staff, the high-ranking officers in the army, the legal advisor to the government who's investigating Bibi.
Who is far from being a leftist.
Far from being a leftist. He's very religious, he's conservative guy. He's also a leftist because so everyone's a leftist, and I mean, I guess that some people are buying it, but I would say from what I've seen, the majority of people, I mean, at least the majority of my friends in Jerusalem are completely not buying it. I actually spoke to a guy who's far, far more right-wing than me, and he's very, very religious, and he said that if he sees towards the elections that the opposition has a chance to replace Bibi as prime minister, he'll vote for them and not for the party he usually votes for, which is a more religious conservative party, just because he's so tired of Bibi. So, I mean, I don't know.
All the polls the polls all say that he'll be elected again.
Yes, but look how low he got on the polls already. He was, I think in last May, he was on 35 seats out of 120. Now he's on 26.
It's important to say that 35 seats out of 120 is usually the majority.
Yeah, that's
because there's so many parties in Israel. Many.
There are a lot.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Too many.
If you get 35 seats, then you're ahead.
Yeah, I feel like they should raise the bar.
Oh,
of
100%.
entry.
100%.
I think,
People are splitting left and right. Parties are everyone wants to be in charge. Everyone wants to be the head of its own list. Everyone wants to be prime minister. And it's so stupid because you can't really form a um, a normal majority because everyone has their own different interests which are just slightly different, but they all
hmm
want power, and it's just
yeah,
stupid. And
I don't remember. I know that in the UK sometimes, for example, the party who won the elections won by such a majority that they don't actually need to bring other parties to the coalition. In Israel, I don't remember when was the last time this happened.
I don't think it's possible.
I think it happened, let's say in the 60s,
Yeah,
maybe. You know,
maybe.
it doesn't happen.
Probably
Like,
not even.
yeah,
No, maybe
um,
yeah, maybe in the 60s.
yeah. So
And that's part of the reason we're going to elections as well right now, because it was supposed to be at the end of the year in November, but they had to early them because they couldn't keep the coalition anymore. It was 61 members, which is barely a
yeah,
majority.
yeah, they
And
couldn't
they
really
couldn't
govern.
do anything. The government was useless. So they had to go to elections earlier than expected. And
Yeah.
the way it seems right now, even if, I mean, whoever is gonna get elected, I think it's gonna be pretty much the same thing, pretty much the same because it's so hard to get people involved in your coalition because they all want things and they all want the same things. They all want the big ministries. They all want, what. So it's very hard to form a reasonable coalition, even if you agree ideologically.
I think it's true. I think but these are flaws of democracy. Like when you, for example, one of the problems in every democracy in the world, or every real democracy in the world, is that you get elected, you have a 4-year term, and what long-term plans could you do in 4 years? You're probably not even going to get the credit for it. So why do it? So every politician has a very short-term thinking. You know, they're looking for what can I do in 2 years that people will remember so they'll elect me again. That's a problem generally in democracy.
But I don't think there's I think the problem in Israel is bigger than in other countries. The big dick syndrome. They all want to show they have the biggest dick.
Yeah.
I'm in charge of my own. I'm ahead of my own list. I'm running by myself. I'm in charge. I'm number one now. And I was number 16 in the other party, but no, now I'm number one, and I can do it. Why shouldn't I?
Well, it depends because for example, what happened was, so we have a party in Israel, a political party called Jewish Home. It's considered a right-wing conservative party.
Yeah.
It's a unification of two other parties. One that was right-wing, but moderately conservative, not crazy. And the other one, very, very religious, very, very right-wing, very, very conservative. So that party now split because the head of the party, the two highest-ranking people in the party left. They created a new party called the New Right.
Why? Why is that?
But
I don't get it. Why?
I'll tell you exactly why. Because there are many people in Israel who are, let's say, right-wing economically, and maybe also security-wise, but they're not very religious, and it's very hard for them to vote for a person who has the same views as them, but his number 4 on the list wants to close down businesses on Shabbat because it's the day of rest.
Ariel?
Uri Ariel, Bezalel Smotrich. There are a lot of people there. You know, it's the right wing religious conservatives in that party dragged it down. That's what they felt. And if you look at the polls, they're doing even better than they did before.
They do.
You know, yeah.
I've heard Uri Ariel, which is a member of their was a member.
He's our Minister
party.
of Agriculture.
Minister of Agriculture. He's a very religious person. I once heard an interview with him on the radio, and he was in the south of Israel. He was watching flowers there. There's like there's an area that has a lot of huge beds of flowers.
Yes.
And a lot of people go there because it's very beautiful to see.
Mm-hmm.
So they were talking to him on the radio, and the guy who interviewed him asked him if he knows where the flowers come from or what makes the flowers grow in that way in that area. Why there's so many flowers there? And the answer is because they have Bedouins there, and the Bedouins have goats and stuff like that, and the goats shit, and it's like
it's fertilizer.
It's fertilizer to the ground, and so that's what he was gonna say to him. And Uri Ariel, Minister of Agriculture. The
Yeah.
Minister of Agriculture said, "Of course I know." And the guy in the radio said, "Oh yeah, how? How did you get there?" And he said, "Because God put them there." That's
Yeah.
what he said. It is
Yeah.
the Minister of Agriculture.
Yeah.
And they laughed and he was like, "Oh, no, it's a Bedouins thing." And then he told him the story
Yeah.
about the Bedouin goats. But it was so ridiculous because he's the Minister
Yeah,
of he's in charge of making things grow and he think they come from the God.
Yeah, I
So
feel like
ridiculous.
the main problem in Israel, for me at least politically, is that religion and politics are involved. I think I don't have a problem with religion. You can be religious if you want. I just think that, and I do want Israel to be a Jewish state. I like it that it's a Jewish state. I like to have Jewish holidays here and everything. But I just feel like religion and politics shouldn't be together. I think also for secular people it would be better, obviously, but also for religious people, because you are making people who disagree with you hate your religion.
Yes.
And I actually heard a lot of religious people saying that they want religion out of politics because they feel like it lowers the status of their religion.
Yeah, there's a lot of grudge against religious people in Israel because a lot of secular people feel like they're forcing religion on
Yeah.
them with the laws and stuff.
Yeah, and regarding what you said with the different parties running, even though like there are a lot of parties in the opposition. There's the Labour Party, there's Yesh Atid, the party I'm active in. There's a new party from our former chief of staff who hasn't spoken a single word yet.
Yes, this is strange.
It's a very interesting strategy. He's just quiet, and so far he has in the polls around 12 seats or something like that, which is pretty nice for a brand new party. And he hasn't said anything. No one knows
It's
what
like in the
he's
poker
standing
table
on.
where you sit down in the poker table
Yeah.
and you just watch for 10 hands.
Exactly.
You don't do anything.
You don't do
Everyone's
anything.
batting and you're like watching everyone.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. What I feel is going to happen is that there will be some unification of some parties that are going to run in a
hope.
joint list.
I hope.
Because they're just waiting for about 2 months, a month before the elections, to get the buzz kind of going.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're waiting for.
I hope, because I don't know who I'm gonna vote. If they're not gonna be some are gonna be unified. I don't know who I'm gonna vote to because I'm not sure. I don't know. Too many different parties, too many different people, too many. I don't know. I'm trying to think who can form a good coalition, maybe against like a good left center coalition against Netanyahu. I don't know.
I feel like at least I know in the party that I'm active in, what they're aiming for is to have moderate left-wing people, moderate right-wing people, and a big block in the center of a coalition. And then they can sort of like balance it. I don't know.
Will it work though?
I think it would.
How can they make any decisions?
Well, look, I mean, the left and right in Israel, in the moderate right and the moderate left are not that different on a lot of things. I think it's just that we got used to the extremes, a bit like in America, when you have like Barack Obama and then right after him Donald Trump, which is a huge contradiction to one another. And I feel like in Israel, the majority of people agree. Like they always say, 70% of the people agree on 70% of the things in Israel. And I feel like that's what they want to focus on, just to get the country sort of back on track. I feel like a lot of people in Israel are feeling that the past 5 years or so, things have not been going so well.
Yeah.
Like not that they haven't been going well. They've been like Israel has been really growing. Like the economy has been growing, the population has been growing. Security-wise, things are better.
Well, it's not hard to grow the population, right?
Right. Yeah.
It's just like fucking.
Yeah, but
It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But
it is weird.
and you do have to give some credit to politicians that even if we disagree with them, they have done some good things. However, I just feel like most people don't understand. I feel like the frustration, for me at least, mostly comes because people don't understand where is this going. Like, what are we aiming at? What is the purpose?
Yes.
And it makes the bad things appear much bigger when you don't understand why are you doing this. But once you'll understand what is the purpose, that's the bad things. It's a easy problem to fix.
So who do you think I should vote for? Except Yesh Atid.
Wow. Well, it depends. I think we have to see first what our former chief of staff says.
Yeah.
I think he's a very decent guy. I think he's a very good
I
guy.
think he's a decent guy as well. I think he's an option, definitely.
Yeah.
But depends who he's gonna run with, because there's some people that if he runs with, I'm probably not gonna vote for him.
It's
I
possible.
won't name drop now because it's not that important. It's like very small political personalities in Israel. I think no one cares about. But I think that it depends who he runs with. It could be a nice
It's
option.
true. It's true. I'm actually, I have to be honest, I'm quite excited about this new party, the New Right.
Are you excited about it?
Yeah, because first of all, it shows you a process that actually people are saying it has been happening since the 80s in Israel, that the religious community has grown, the religious right-wing conservative community, the national religious, what we call, those are like what a lot of leftists like to say settlers, even though not all of them are settlers, but a lot of like there is a significant population living in territories that are over the green line, and it has been growing so much, and you start seeing the split between the really religious, really conservative, really right-wing people, and the more moderate ones that are thinking like, yeah, I'm right-wing, but
Don't you think Bennett is extreme?
I don't think on
That's
many
the guy
subjects
he's the head of those.
yeah,
parties.
I don't think he's, in my opinion, he's not very, very extreme.
Really?
Yeah, I don't
think he's extremely extreme.
Yeah, but it's because you read leftist newspapers and all that, and they love to paint him as like
the leftist media.
leftist media. No, I don't think he's that extreme. I disagree with him on certain things for sure, but I feel like the reason why Jewish homes split and this new right came is because he realized that he cannot function the way he wants with all of these extreme religious people in his former party. So I disagree with him on some things, but I think it shows it's a positive sign, And honestly, I would say vote for whoever you think is decent. I think this is what the elections are.
Yeah, don't mind
like if you agree with them, okay, that's great, but just make sure that you're voting for people who are worthy of it. I'm not saying vote for just a random person that he's a nice guy. No, it's not about being nice necessarily, but it's about being worthy of the status of being a member of parliament. That's what I think, at least.
Shall we talk about terrorism?
Yeah, terrorism, man.
Terrorism, man.
Gender terrorism.
There's a big there's a storm now in the Israeli media about something that is called Jewish terror or Jewish terrorism.
Oh, I thought you wanted to talk about... Okay, never mind.
What
the gender terror thing.
Oh, the gender terror.
Yeah.
We can talk about that as well.
Okay, we'll bring it up at some point.
We'll bring it up at some point, yeah. But I just want to mention it. I don't know if that much we can talk about because we're probably going to agree about things. But there's a thing called Jewish terror now. I mean, it's not new, but something is... there's a big thing going on now. Some, can I say kids, children? I don't know. They're like maybe teenagers.
Youth,
yeah. They are accused now, Jewish youth settlers. They're accused now of throwing stones at a car.
Yeah, the Palestinian car.
And killing. Killing a
woman.
Young girl, woman. I think she was.
Yeah.
Wasn't she like 13 or something?
No. She was married already.
Oh, she was. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I read one of them at 13. I don't know.
Maybe.
But they're teenagers, and the interesting thing is that happens sometimes, not a lot, but it happens sometimes, and it's sad that it happens, of course.
Yeah.
And that incident resulted in death as well, which is extra sad, you can say.
True.
And they are arrested now. A few of them.
Yes.
They're arrested by our
security services.
Yeah, our FBI, you can say.
Yeah.
And there's accusation. The interesting thing is a lot of people in the right are accusing the Israel Security Service for torturing them in their investigation.
Yeah.
Right. And people are saying that Well, now there's the whole kind of new debate whether, um, well, should you investigate, should you use those kind of methods and
Mm-hmm.
against children, and also, is it? I mean, there are murderers, of course, if they're accused. They're allegedly accused of murder. If they're
Yes.
charged, I don't know, but
Yeah.
they're accused of murder, and and people are saying, well, is it different because it's Jews against Arabs, then it's Arabs against Jews? And I think most people agree that it's not different. It's not. Most
Yeah.
people agree that whether it's Jew killing a Palestinian or Palestinian killing a Jew, it's the same thing.
Yeah, and also just to clarify, like they say that they're being tortured, but really in Israel you don't have actual torture happening in prisons. Like don't
Yeah,
you
it's
don't
not
pluck
physical. It's not physical.
fingernails or something. It's a lot of mental manipulation, psychological
Yeah.
manipulations. Because we have such strict laws on what you can and can't do to a prisoner, that the investigators have to come up with something in order to extract information. And there is like, okay, it sounds a bit bad, but it's called like mild physical pressure. You know what I mean? But it's not torture. Like no one is being drowned.
It's not something like gangsters would use.
No, definitely not.
It's like just put some mild physical torture on him.
It's a bit like a slap on the wrist or something like that, you know.
But the accusations against security services is that people are saying torture. People are saying they are torturing them.
Yes,
and that's
but
why there's
I
an
feel like
outrage against
I think that these are very like the extreme right wing religious
Extreme,
people.
yes.
They are like furious about this because it's them, it's their kids, it's their
Yeah.
community kind of thing. And I feel like the moderate people on both sides, both the right and the left, are pretty much saying like, guys, they killed a woman.
Yeah.
I mean they threw stones at the car. I feel like the car got in an accident and then the woman died. I don't think they actually stoned her to death.
But isn't it the same thing?
No,
I mean,
well-
they caused. I mean, well, if a Palestinian would throw a
Yeah,
stone
yeah.
on a Jewish car and someone would die, it's gonna be terror 100%.
Completely agree, and I think also that, and I feel like the majority of the people in Israel agree. I saw a guy. His name is Yaakov Amidror. He used to be the head of the security council.
Mossad?
No. The head of the National Security Committee or something like that. That's what it's called. He's religious, very right wing guy.
Is he religious?
Yeah, he's religious. Or at least he has a big beard,
Okay.
No, but I think I'm pretty sure he's
And a big
religious.
nose.
And a big nose. Yeah, such a Jew. And he spoke. I forgot where it was exactly, but he said that he feels that Jewish terror is even more dangerous than Palestinian terror, even though there are few occasions where Jewish terror occurs. It's not a very common phenomena. I forgot why he said that, but basically that was like the headline in the news, and yeah, look, he's religious, right-wing guy. I'm pretty sure that me and him have some disagreements. I'm pretty sure you and him have a lot of disagreements. But that's what I've been trying. The point I've been trying to make is that the community, the religious conservative community, let's say in Israel, got so big that that's what happens when a group gets so big. You start having differences. The group mentality doesn't work anymore when there are so many of you. It works when you're a small minority, not when you're half the country. Let's say.
It's encouraging to see. I think it's encouraging to see.
Absolutely.
First of all, the security services are handling it like any other case from the other side. I'm happy to see that we can. First of all, use the term in the mainstream media, Jewish terror. People aren't scared of it. People agree. Well, this is something that exists.
Yeah.
And it's very, very bad, and we should handle it. And security services are handling it pretty good, I believe. And there are right wing voices that accuse torture and stuff like that, and it might not be torture, but something a bit different. But overall, I'm very happy to see how it's handled. And
me too.
I'm glad we can do it like that.
And that's also a point that I've been trying to make to people when I speak about Israel, to people that don't know so much, is that I'm not saying that Israel is the best country in the world. I mean, I personally think it's pretty amazing, but I'm not saying it's the best. I'm just saying that we're a regular country. There's not some like crazy fascism here. There's not like crazy right-wing gangs walking around beating Arabs and the police doesn't do anything about it. Like this is not, some redneck town in like 1830 where black people are getting lynched. Like, this is not happening here. And so, yeah, there are problems, and we're working very hard to fix them. That's the idea.
But there's law. There's law here, and law is
absolutely
is equal.
Absolutely.
So you mentioned the gender terrorism.
Gender terrorism. That was hilarious.
No, that's the real terrorism.
That's the real problem.
That's the real
in our Western patriarchal society.
I don't even know how do you call that organization? I don't know even how to call it. It's like, isn't it? It's like the unit for gender counterterrorism.
Yeah,
you can say.
some bullcrap like that.
Well, I've heard. Well, it was already a few weeks ago, but we didn't have a chance to talk about it.
Yeah.
I've heard about an organization, Israeli organization, that is called the Unit for Gender Counterterrorism. You can say, which I thought is kind of weird as a name, because well, I'm not saying we don't have gender issues. I'm sure. I mean, there are some gender issues like everywhere in the world, but isn't it a bit hyperbolic? You could say
a bit.
Isn't
I mean,
it a bit much
it's not like
the
the thing is that I this is something that I genuinely don't understand. Like, women are being treated as a minority a lot of times when it comes to these kind of debates and stuff like that. Even though women are 50% of the population, you know.
But it's a matter of power, not a matter of size.
But I wouldn't necessarily argue that men have more, but maybe more physical power statistically. But
no, man has more power.
I don't think so.
There's more prime ministers men. There are more rich people men. That's power.
But it's a long debate, so I don't think we should get into that now. But I don't feel like there are like less women doctors because of discrimination against them, and there are actually more female doctors. There are more female dentistry and medical students than there are male, you know.
Well,
but regardless, look, okay, but let's stay on point. Okay,
more men has power than women has power.
Let's say that I agree with you, even if
there's nothing to agree. It's a fact.
I don't feel it's a fact, but
don't you think? Well, isn't it statistics? More rich people in the world are men, right? The richest people in the world are men.
But the richest people in the world work around 80 hours a week. And it's not that...
Oh, I'm not saying they're not working.
No. But listen, it's not that they are rich because... It's not that they work a lot. So, for example, if me and you would be very successful at our work and we would work around 12, 14 hours a day, we would also be very wealthy. However, the majority of people in the world, regardless if they're men or women, just don't want to work 80 hours a week. Mm-hmm. So I don't feel like it's, because there's a tiny percentage of the wealthiest people in the world and most of them are men, it's because men are more powerful than women. But
no, I'm saying they hold more power currently in the world.
Okay, possibly, yeah. But it's not
they are more powerful, so they're rich. They are rich, so they're more powerful.
Okay, that I can accept that argument. But it's not that there are guys walking around, strapping a bomb onto themselves, going into like a woman's hair salon or something, shouting, "Testicles are great!" Boom, and blow themselves up.
That's the point. That's why I don't know how I feel. That's why when I heard it, I was like, I was
away with your ovaries, woman.
It seems so strange. I mean, referring to it as terrorism just seems so strange. Yeah, there are jerks in the world. There are chauvinist people.
But that's everywhere. Like, what do you like?
But referring to it as terrorism is
but this is the thing. This mentality, and I find it very often on the like extreme far left, is this victim mentality. I'm being oppressed.
That's what I don't like about the left in Israel at the moment. That's why I don't want to vote to the party I'm usually voting to, which is the classic left.
Because you're a reasonable person.
Because
you're a smart human being.
I feel that they are more busy victimizing and blaming than proposing real solutions.
100% completely agree with you there.
And it's a bummer. I mean, it kind of sucks. Because I want to vote for them, but there's not much to vote to.
I just feel like they're not a very good party. They're not working to make things better. They're working to blame other people for why things are bad.
Yes.
But
That's Meretz we're talking about, by the way.
yeah, that's the
Meretz,
far left party in Israel.
MERETZ. It's
It's
not the far left. It's the only left,
they're
basically.
pretty far left, and I would say they're actually so far left that the only party after them who's more left is a communist party and an Arab party. Like
Yes, but that's like the norm because they are the normal left, and then there's the extreme left, which is the Arab and Communist Party.
I don't feel like they're okay. I mean, I guess that's a matter of perspective, but I don't feel like they're very.
Because the right, because everything got so right that what used to be once extreme left is now just normal left, and what used to be the normal left
I feel
is
like
kind of center.
the opposite. You mean like what used to be normal left is now extreme left because everything went so far right.
No, everything went right. So imagine, I wish I could show that to people, but imagine there's a graph, right?
Yeah.
And there's dots on the graph, and all the dots move right.
Yes.
So the ones used to be extremely
extreme
in the
left
left
are
is
now-
now in
yeah.
the left. The ones that used to be in the left are now center. That's how
Exactly.
what I
Okay, I get your point.
And the right ones got extra right.
Mm.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, I agree with you on that, but also I feel like that party specifically is just it's not representing. I don't feel like it really I mean, for me at least, the when I hear people speak, you know, the politicians there speak and stuff, they talk about the occupation, they talk about gender inequality, they talk about trans rights, they talk about things that are not very urgent in Israeli society. Like, I'm not saying that trans rights are not important, or
Is it occupation urgent?
Is it urgent? Is it important? Yes. Is it urgent to be solved right now? Not necessarily, because we don't actually have a solution for it right now.
Well, it's a process. Well,
It's
they're saying we're ready to begin a process, which other parties that are currently or other right-wing parties are not ready to. They're not. I mean,
Yeah, but I feel like
it's about being ready to try.
well,
It's not about bringing a solution right now.
Yeah, but if you look at their proposed plan, it's basically we go back to 1967 borders, which are actually 1949 borders, and split Jerusalem. I don't feel like most Israelis can agree on that, especially because last time we left the territory, we got terror from there in Gaza.
Well, I trust that it can be done in the responsible way, in a way that will ensure or minimize terror. And I don't think it's like, okay, we're elected, now let's do it. Let's just leave. Because it's not possible. You have to have a plan. It's a process. You have to agree with the other side on certain issues. So
Yeah.
I feel like I want a party that will be ready to start the process.
Yeah, I agree.
But still, if I'm returning to the point, because we're kind of deviating, I don't think that I don't think I'm going to vote for them, because I don't think they really bring solutions. They just bring complaints.
I agree with you on that one. I really agree with you on that one.
I don't know. Maybe the counterterrorism gender unit
The gender count.
can maybe they can have a party and I can vote for them. And
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Yeah,
think-
I agree with you. I agree with you on that one. I mean, for me, they're looking at things from a very naive point of view, especially regarding to this conflict. I disagree with them on a lot of things. I don't think that all of them are bad people necessarily. Like I don't, but I just feel like they're as you said, they're busy bringing complaints instead of fixing
real
problems.
solutions.
Yeah.
I think after all this talk about terrorism, we should end on a positive note.
Yes.
I've heard yesterday that Jeff Bezos and his wife, you know who Jeff Bezos is? He's the founder of Amazon. He's
right,
the richest
right.
guy in the world.
Wow.
Him and his wife
Also a man, by the way.
also a man. Him and his wife are getting divorced.
Okay.
And get that, they don't have a prenup agreement.
Really?
And he's the richest man on the planet. He's worth
Wow.
$140
But how-
billion.
How didn't he do
Because
Oh
when
my
they got
God.
married in 1993,
It wasn't very common.
he didn't start Amazon yet. So they married. He left. He worked like as a vice president of some
Company?
some investment company.
Okay.
And he left and he founded Amazon from his garage in
Wow.
1994 or something. Like
Wow.
shortly after they married. And then she was with him and he was like poor at first. I don't know if poor, but he wasn't straight up successful. And it took time for Amazon to succeed. I think maybe like 10 years until it really got to a point where, I mean,
when
he made him rich, let's say. In 2014, he was worth $32 billion.
Wow.
Now he's worth $140 billion.
Wow.
So if they split,
Yeah.
they're gonna divorce, right?
Yeah.
And if they split, they're gonna it's state of Washington, and state of Washington, or is it Washington D.C.? I think it's state of Washington. State of Washington says that all property should be split equally.
Yeah.
So she's
Wait,
gonna get.
state of Washington and Washington D.C. are not the same thing.
I know. I
Okay.
think it's the state of Washington.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
it's in Seattle.
Wow.
And
Oh my God. So basically,
so she's hold on. Listen to that.
Okay.
So he has 16% of Amazon stocks.
wow.
Now she's gonna get 8% of that,
Wow.
and she's gonna get, in terms of money, $70 billion, or property worth $70 billion, which is gonna make her the richest woman on the planet by $25 billion. So the richest woman on the planet right now is the heir to L'Oreal, which is a cosmetic company,
Yeah.
and she's worth $46.5 billion.
Wow.
And that woman is gonna be the Jeff Bezos' wife, Kimi, something like that.
Okay.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
She's gonna Mackenzie. Her name is Mackenzie. She's gonna be worth $70 billion, which make it the richest woman on the planet, but $25 billion from divorce.
Wow.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah, but see some gender equality right there. Maybe we can shut down the
That's
counter-gender
insane. Well, I mean,
terror
she's not
unit.
Like it's not like she doesn't have a part in his success.
No, of course she
has
does.
a big part of his success. Of course,
Absolutely.
It's not like she married him last year and she was like, "Oh, hi,
Yeah.
marry me, give
No,
me
she's
money."
been with him since 1993,
Yes,
even before
yes,
maybe.
yes,
So
yeah,
you know.
and she's obviously accustomed to a certain style of living, and she should get money. But it's just insane.
It's just so weird that they're
It's
getting
just-
divorced now. It's like, guys, you've been together for like 25 years.
Yeah.
Like, just give it
26
a,
and I've heard
just
that-
push a bit further.
I've heard that they're gonna be, so it's not like ugly divorce. I've heard that they're gonna stay in touch. They're gonna still do business together, and they all obviously have some business ventures together and stuff like that. So, but still, and then he's gonna be from the richest man on the planet. He's gonna be the fifth, because he's gonna be worth $70 million.
I have to
so
be
she
honest.
will be the richest woman, and he will be the fifth richest man.
I have to be honest. I feel like even if you're the fifth richest man on the planet,
still
it's
okay.
it's fine.
You're still okay.
You're okay.
I'm wondering about Amazon. So is he gonna be like, she's gonna have 8% of Amazon stocks. So I'm wondering like how it's gonna work. Is it like, is she gonna be? She can be in charge of some stuff? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, the more stocks you have, the more percentage of the
She will
company
be on
you
the
own.
board.
Yeah, and then the more stocks you own, the more percentage of the company you have, the more important you are in decision making.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, look.
I read it yesterday. I left so hard.
Maybe
it's
it's
so good.
Maybe they're doing it for tax purposes.
Oh, maybe it's a scam.
Oh,
Like against Bibi.
against
It's a conspiracy.
Bibi. It's a left-wing conspiracy.
See how we close the circle?
Misogynistic.
Went the full circle.
That's
it's
amazing.
gender terrorism.
Gender terrorism. All right.
My friend.
Guys, have a Shabbat Shalom. It was great seeing you, man. Great coffee as well. It was a good one. It was a good one. Let's do another one next week, yeah?
Next week, another one. Probably gonna have guests, and even if
Awesome.
not, it's gonna be just us, and you can enjoy us like.
Yalla, guys. See you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.